Shedeur Sanders' injury kept him from climbing Brown's quarterback ranks as preseason rotation revealed. Sanders was expected to get more work with Kenny Pickett out, but that may not be the case. The preseason is wrapping up, which has facilitated teams around the NFL making final decisions on key position battles. Not a single camp battle had more eyes on it than the Cleveland Browns quarterback competition, but it has finally come to a conclusion. Joe Flacco is the starter for the foreseeable future. It once looked like Kenny Pickett had a great chance to be the guy, but a hamstring injury completely halted his momentum. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders continue to develop, but injuries have slowed their progress at times, too. Sanders looked set to climb up the depth chart following an impressive debut, only to see an oblique injury put him on ice for a little bit of time. In that time, Gabriel came back from his own injury and Flacco was named the starter. Joe Flacco set to play in final Browns preseason game, followed by Dillon Gabriel. Heading into the team's Week 3 preseason game, it provided the chance for Gabriel and Sanders to make one last positive impression before hitting the bench for the regular season. With Pickett still sidelined, the rookies looked set to lead the show. But head coach Kevin Stefanski has decided to let Flacco ramp up right before Week 1 of the regular season. Perhaps even worse news for Sanders is that Gabriel remains ahead of him on the depth chart and in the rotation for the next game. Stefanski says the rotation will be Flacco, Gabriel then Sanders. It's possible that Flacco gets the whole first half, followed by Gabriel in the third quarter and Sanders in the fourth quarter. It's yet to be determined how it will play out, but Sanders won't get the workload he did in his debut, most likely. The news wasn't a headline so much as a hush. 1 minute the Browns' quarterback room was a loud, rattling drawer of futures, clipboards shuffling, sneakers squeaking on the rubber floor, jokes about cadence and coffee. And the next, it was quiet, as if someone had pulled the plug on the jukebox. Shedeur Sanders' oblique flared, and with it, the momentum that had been coiling around his rookie August loosened and drifted to the floor like tape peeling off a helmet. In camp, before the twinge, he was all tempo and teeth. The kind of poised footwork that made drills look like choreography, the kind of ball placement that turned ordinary reps into slow hums of approval. Coaches speak in sparrow notes when they like something. They don't sing, they nod. There had been a lot of nodding. Then came the week of limited throws and carefully phrased updates. The preseason rotation went up on the internal schedule like a seating chart for a wedding he couldn't attend. Starters, relief, mop-up. And Shedeur's name slid from the line where ambition lives to the column where patience is asked to clock in. A rookie learns many new words. One of them is wait. Football never stops to ask if you're ready. The carousel turns, and the horses bite the air regardless. In those scrimmage nights under Ohio's wide, humming lights, other quarterbacks took their sets with eager hands, crackling mics, and the small electric joy of a live play call. They stacked film like firewood. Drives aren't just drives in August, they're resumes. The rotation, carefully managed, strategically parceled, became a ladder, and Shedeur was on the ground counting rungs. Still, there's a kind of labor happening when you're held out. The body negotiates. The mind scribbles. On the sideline, he tracked protections, mouthed progressions, felt the phantom snap in his fingers and the invisible heartbeat of each concept. When a teammate returned to the bench, he met them with that compact quarterback language. Thumbs as arrows, eyebrows like parentheses, a small joystick of a gesture to ask, did the nickel cheat? It's not nothing. It's not the climb either. Fans crave ascent. It's how we tell ourselves stories about sports. A rookie arrives like an elevator button pressed to the top. But most climbs are switchbacks, not escalators. An oblique doesn't care about narrative arcs. It cares about torque. It speaks in reminders. You throw with your frame, not just your arm. You breathe from the place that now wants to wince. In the quarterback room, the rotation clarified. First up, the veteran presence who can find the flat when the post is bait, who understands that a throwaway is a stat with its own quiet heroism. Second, the challenger whose zip through the dig route makes coaches lean forward in their chairs. Third, the developmental arc, reps in the fourth quarter, when the stadium is a scatter of silhouettes and the game is folded into evaluation. Shedeur's name tucked here, for now, a promise written in pencil. There's a discipline in not competing the way you planned. The morning routine shifts from proving to preserving. Mobility work replaces swagger. Film becomes both microscope and mirror. In the room, the coach clicks the laser pointer and says front side flood, backside glance. And Shedeur nods, files it, rehearses a throw his ribs won't yet let him make. Patience is not passive. It's practice with the tempo turned inward. Cleveland has a practiced relationship with hope. It is not naive, it is stubborn. The city knows how to belt out belief with a voice hoarse from Januaries and almosts. So when the preseason rotation revealed itself, when the rook was dropped a rung not because of poise or reads, but because of that tight, complaining muscle, there was a collective shrug of understanding and a small ache of what could have been. On message boards, they posted highlights anyway. The bolder comebacks, the outroute thrown like a scalpel, the pocket slide with eyes up and shoulders square. They watched the tape like a reminder note to the future. Teammates measure you in ways that don't make it to broadcasts. How you sit in meetings. Whether you take the hard coaching with your chin up. Whether you dap the left tackle after a good rep you didn't throw. Whether you make the trainer's job easier by not lying to your own body. In those measures, Shedeur kept climbing even as the depth chart told a different story. It matters. The locker room is a long memory. When he finally took limited team reps again, helmet on, hands catching the snap like an old handshake, there was a detectable quiet before each throw, the room leaning in to listen to the muscle's verdict. He let the ball go and it flew true but not greedy, the way you ease back onto a road after black ice. The coaches didn't cheer. They noted. The rook exhaled and reset his feet. Maybe he won't vault this August. Maybe the rotation's ink will dry on a hierarchy that puts him on dusk duty. Clean-up snaps, 2-minute drills against corners fighting for jobs. But here's the thing the preseason can't take away. Quarterbacks are time travelers. They spend all day living in the next second. A climb delayed is not a climb denied. It's just a longer walk to the same staircase. On a humid evening, the lake air pushing soft against the stadium's ribs, Shedeur stood with a laminated play sheet tucked against his thigh. The starter jogged on. The challenger took off a cap and took the next series. The rookie watched the safeties like a man tracing constellations no one else could see. The rotation had been revealed, the ranks cemented for now and still, beneath the hum of August and the math of reps.